Beloved, before we light a single candle this season, before we hang a strand of lights, before we sing songs of stars and angels and miracles, I want to invite you into the dark. Yes, the dark. The holy, necessary, tender dark that winter is trying to hand to us, if only we would slow down enough to receive it. It's easy to think of the dark in times like these as our enemy, that the long nights are a problem to solve, that we need more light, more noise, more doing to drown out what we don't want to feel. But winter says, hush now, come closer. Let me show you something that you can only see in the dark. That inside of you, inside every one of us, there is a flame, small, steady, ancient, that never, ever goes out. A flame that doesn't fear the night. The magic of this season is whispering, the dark is not here to extinguish you. It's here to reveal you. Let the dark become a womb where clarity rises, where love rekindles itself, where our next right action is born like a new flame in the middle of the night. Join me for the month of December as we celebrate the world's winter traditions and let them inspire us during this season of love, this season of light and dark. And if you're in the Albuquerque area, we have a lot of special events going on this month. We will celebrate what it means to be grieving and heartbroken during this season. We will have a multi-faith holiday party and collaborative New Thought Christmas Eve, a New Year's Eve burning bowl, a solstice celebration and ceremony. So join us if you are around. I would love to see you this December. So don't chase the dark away. Let it teach you how to see within it, because you, my love, are the keeper of the flame. And the world needs the love that you can carry into the dark. Sometimes our grief is the thing that allows us to meet the divine, to enter into the love, the only thing that is big enough to hold us in the grief. So I'm inviting you right now to sit with me in your sorrow, to sit with me in the places that have come apart after you've come together, to sit with me in all that has been lost, who we've lost, to sit with me in all that is falling apart and crumbling at our feet. And just allow the pain, allow the suffering, allow what is broken to be broken. Because sometimes, Rumi tells us, it allows us to surrender and enter in to the love that is also right next to all of the grief. We grieve because we love. Love is at the heart of all grief. We are in sorrow with loss because we have loved someone, or we have loved a thing, or we desperately had hope for an outcome that has failed. But all of that is rooted in love. And if you've been brought to your knees by grief, I hope you've had the experience that it brings us face to face with what matters most. I can tell you from personal experience, when I have been brought to my knees, quite literally, with grief and loss, the thing that brought me back upright again was recognizing in that absolutely broken, open place that I had no doubt about what mattered. I had absolute clarity about what was the most important thing in my life. And my prayer in that grief, my prayer on my knees, was, please help me remember this. Please help me remember that I have no doubt about what is true in this moment. That I feel closer to what the divine intended for me in this broken open place than I ever have before. That is what grief makes possible if we let it. So I invite you, as you are sitting in what might be causing sorrow in you right now, I invite you to step away from the modern illness of culture. I invite you to leave over here. We're just going to walk it all the way over here. We're going to put it all the way in the corner. This is where modern illness of numbing and running from our feelings and escaping and trying to shut it down and denial, that's all, we're just going to put it right over here. And you are going to step with me into the sacred and holy that grief really can be. Where we let it fill our whole being with sadness. Where we allow ourselves to be weighed down by the heaviness we feel. If just for this moment, we're going to leave the avoidance over there. And we're going to allow ourselves to meet what is available in the depth of our grief. And we're just going to sit with it for a moment. Let it have some weight. Because I also believe it is this willingness to sit in that, to feel it to the fullest, to let it do what it will with us, that begins to put flesh on the bones of love. It begins to allow this capital L love, this divine love that we talk so much about and read so much about and write poetry about and write songs about. Grief is what helps us have the weight of love become real. Grief is a shape of love itself that we can make tangible. All of a sudden, that love that we look at on the page in our sacred text jumps off the page and lands in our bodies. If we can sit in it long enough to meet it, it's waiting right there with the grief, right next to it. They belong to each other. And this is really the work of our divine lives. This is the work of our spiritual living, is to let ourselves come so alive in what is so. To not immediately go into the illness of culture and shove it down. Take all the things, do all the things, busy ourselves, overachieve, be productive, numb ourselves, doom scroll, all the ways we avoid the aliveness that is our birthright. And we get to have this incredible experience of what love really is through our own lived experience because we grieve. You can't have life all the way to its fullness without loss. Right? The one thing you and I are all guaranteed to experience is death. And we are going to experience it in all of these many ways. Through loss and destruction, through failures, through unmet desire, through the loss of a loved one who's gone too soon. But because we can let ourselves be wholly present to it, we make way for the holy experience of our complete and total aliveness. That is the difference between the sacred of grief and the pathology of grief that we do in modern illness and culture. We pathologize this thing that is a gift of our aliveness. And so I hope that you can begin to let yourself sit a little more deeply into whatever you've brought with you into the room today. Because the other beautiful thing about our spiritual lives and the spiritual walk and allowing grief to be holy and sacred is when we look to our lineages, whatever they may be, every single one has a way for us to actively grieve, has a way for us to meet the grief. We already started with one of those ways today through song, right? We can keen and wail. The Wailing Wall in Israel. There is a tradition among the Hawaiian folks where everyone circles up together around any loss, whether that someone has died, loss of land, loss of anything, and collectively wail and shout. We sit Shiva in the Jewish tradition, which, and the beautiful thing about that is there's nothing to do but come sit together. We just sit together and bear witness. Every single one of these traditions require other people to actively grieve, to make grief holy, requires your community. We cover the mirrors in some traditions. In a few traditions, the mirrors get covered so that you're not so distracted by your own sorrow. So you have a better chance of actually sitting in it and not obsessing on it. There are all of these ways that we can actively grieve in ceremony and ritual together. And because we do, when we come together in community, when we say to one another, I will sit with you, I will be your witness, come sit with me in your sorrow. You are not alone. We are not alone. And because we do, the love that grief is takes more shape, becomes more tangible to us. We have a way to be in relationship with the divinity that love is in a really felt experience. So I want to invite you right now. You should all have been given a slip of paper. And if you are at home watching this, I want you to go find a quick slip of paper. If you need a slip of paper, raise your hand. Someone will bring one for you. And you should have pencil in the back seats of your chairs, or there should be we can bring you a pen if you need something to write with. All right, looks like almost everybody's got something. So I want you to write down whatever you can fit on the page, however much you'd like to write. What are you grieving right now? What feels too heavy to bear right now? Whatever that is for you. Maybe a loss that you are personally dealing with. It may be the state of the world. What feels too heavy to bear right now? And I want you to write it on there. And if there's not anything that you are really struggling to hold, if you are one of the lucky ones and you are not grieving at this time, I invite you to turn your attention to the room and be a witness to everyone else. When you've completed your writing, I want you to fold up your paper and hold it up like this, so I can get a sense of where we are. And if you see someone and you're finished and you've got your paper up, and if somebody's near you, I want you to trade papers. You know, you're not going to read each other's papers. They will stay anonymous, but just trade papers. Let somebody else hold your sorrow. So just trade with anybody near you. And if you've already traded and somebody needs to trade again, trade with them. And allow yourself to bear witness to their grief and their sorrow.